log. Give me your test there, bud.
Bringing you back in now. Looks like a real big wreck happening here moments ago. Let's back it up, see what we can see. Oh, man, looks like it's already in action, but let's back it up. Looks like between the 50s, looks like, what is that? Yeah, the 56, 54, and the 71. All right, let's see what we got.
It kind of looked like a situation of a push gone wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. 110%. Chris Bishop involved in that wreck. Looks like Ryan Robertson, Brandon Meyer. Yeah, just a wrong push from the 54 to the 56, taking the 71, catching. Yeah, it looks like the 35 of, I believe, Austin Thomas. And that is unfortunate for Chris Norris, for that whole team right there. Just wrong place, wrong time. Let's see the blimp. Yeah, just pumped in the left rear corner panel. Getting down into the 71 of Brandon Meyer. Keaton Salyers looks like he's blinking his way through it, but Austin Thomas, nowhere to go. 33 getting caught up in that. Eshelman, the 41 of Bishop, involved. Yeah, 56 gets airborne, getting two wheels up against the wall, Tony Hawk Pro Skater style. And then Chris Bishop comes down, connects with Ryan Robertson. Robertson, let's see if he connects with the wall. Looks like he's able to keep it out of trouble. But again, looking at his front right, it is not in good shape by any means. He's going to be in trouble. Looks like he might be about done.
And just to give the viewers at home a little bit better perspective real quick, going through this trioval is easily one of the lightest parts when it comes to these cars. Already they're driving on edge. But at least when you're in the corners, you have the banking to at least load the vehicle up and give you a little bit more, you control.
Have a chance.
Right. But when it comes to this trioval, though, with the, less degrees of banking, you definitely got to turn the wheel a lot more than what it is in the corners. So if you hit somebody the wrong way, yeah, they're definitely going to go for a spin. But luckily, that virtual fence was able to hold that car down and, keep it on the track.
Yeah, and that's what you hope for. I know a lot of these guys are probably out here tonight because of that accident. But, fortunately enough, everybody's good to go for the most part. Only about three or four cars that I would consider probably out, and with the 56 being at the forefront. But so far, so good. Can't complain too much. 3 cautions again early, but I think we're just getting the bumps out of the way, right? Smokey says Corona Silver, absolute fire. I know he said that probably about 10 minutes ago. I just want to round back to it. Keaton S197 for the follow 4 minutes ago. Appreciate that. Again, I don't mean to plug it, but I have to, especially since we are on a caution. If you have a Prime, it's free to use. Commercial-free viewing. Again, ads, I don't make a whole lot off of it, but I do run them sometimes. Again, every 90 minutes or so, whatever it is. I do the bare minimum. But again, that sub will get you commercial-free viewing all Cup Series season long. Again, next, I have some hints I'm going to drop in the next couple of weeks of where I will be next for the winter. Prime like to drink, yeah, you got it. B Gaming over there, Brad Gutierrez. He works at your local Dollar Tree. Again, he's your stock boy. I was going to go restaurant as like a busboy, but I thought that was just too high of a job for him. Stock boy over at your local Dollar Tree. ... Yeah, Brad, suck it. pace car on the backstretch now as we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Follow Brad if you want to buy his setup. Apparently he's quitting. And I will send you a box of Kleenex as my condolences. Jacob Malone, Joe Stafford, row 1. Skylar Comstock, Blake Schneider, row 2. Jonathan Militia, Robert Rosillo Jr., row 3. Mike DeWalt, Floyd Stewart, row 4. Row 5 is going to be Connor Rowe and Connor Rowe.
And even though we didn't had a few quick little cautions real quick, though, we are definitely getting close to halfway. So some of these guys that's been chilling in the back or whatever the case may be, eventually they're going to have to start making their way up to the front. But so far, so good, though. Everybody's, trying to survive and make it to the end. We got a couple guys, making some repairs and stuff like that that's on the tail end. About to get back to green flag racing here.
Yes, we are. Pace car is going to take off. Fortson Poston, or Forskin Poston, as Fried Cheese 29 would put it. He is currently in 16th. Jacob Malone leading us back in the MeteorMountain.com restart zone. Again, use promo code DVDA for 50% off your first purchase. Here we
Green
go.
flag.
Green, green, green for the Horseboat 250. 31 of 94 in the books. He's P2 in sales also. God damn. Joe Stafford moved to the bottom wicked fast. Joe Stafford leading the group. But again, as we mentioned on the pre-race show, you can't exactly get away. There's no exact, I'm just going to get out of here and check out. This is not that kind of track. If you're new to Superspeedway, it is pack racing. It is intense. It is everything that you want 200 miles an hour to be like. Well, unless you're the driver.
Definitely. And especially with this new aero package that we have now, the pack is a lot more tighter, a lot more closer. So you're definitely not pulling away. In past times, though, you was able to get a couple guys lined up on the high side and, able to get a little Congo line going. But right now, everybody's going to be packed up right on top of each other. I call it the more exciting grade in racing.
It definitely is, especially when you have the drivers to do it. I know we've had a couple of cautions, but it definitely doesn't take away from the intensity. A couple of drivers are out, obviously. Looking on your screen, you see a few of them. But Jake Hall now out in front, doing the damn thing. Aiden Donahue right behind. Aiden Donahue has been gone a couple weeks, few weeks, if you would say. I can't speak English. I do that once every program. But now in front right now, with 54 of Trey Holmes pushing him. Again, I would say the offender of the last wreck. Allegedly.
Yeah, definitely. Especially after that last caution that we just had. I'm surprised that he's quick to jump back on that high horse and start pushing again. But he feels confident in his driving style, though. So, hey, it paid off, and now they're 1-2.
Trey, part-time Holmes, just talking about him there in second, pushing the leader along. Gary Owen right behind in third. Jake Hall to the outside, leading that line on the outside, currently in fourth. We're going to give it to you one more time to loosen loud, because I don't think you got a proper one. So we're going to give you one more for a couple more laps right here, right now. All right, bringing you back allowed again. I'm Tom Torrey, a.k.a. the Horseboat, and then I got Fly Guy Only 773, a.k.a. Tyrone Reed, in the booth. Breaking down lap 40 here of 94, almost halfway home here for the Horseboat 250, and I gotta say, a lot of action early, but it seems to have calmed down a little bit.
Definitely. And I think a lot of these guys seen that, we're starting to have, a couple little wacky cautions and stuff like that. Wrecks that could have been avoided or whatnot. I'm starting to see that, the field's probably, once again, just trying to make it at least, with them final, 10 laps or whatnot. And as I say that, back to 3-wide racing again. But, the name of the game is just survival, you know?
Attrition. That is the word that comes to mind when I think of Superspeedway racing. You have to survive if you want to compete at the end. Again, I've seen every strategy bite you in the ass. The fact of the matter is, at a Superspeedway, it is a matter of luck. If you can stay out of trouble, if you stay up towards the front, maybe you can avoid it that way. If you stay towards the back, it's all a matter of the events that take place during that race, and at any moment, it could be the end for you. At any time.
Definitely. And just like we said earlier, anybody has the opportunity and a chance to win this race. But at the same token, though, it's like a catch-22. Even though everybody has a chance to win this race, everybody has a chance to lose and wreck and finish poorly in this type of style of racing, too.
Right. And that's exactly it. Connor Rowe out in front right now. Jake Hall competing for that position. Again, 2 by 2 all the way back to about 20th. Racing kind of speaks for itself here, and now, again, if you're new to gears, we're about 2 races away from the playoffs. So a win here tonight would really elevate you into that wild card position if you could not make it on points.
Definitely, and I'm sure there's a couple guys in the field right now that's banking on that type of victory right there to definitely push them forward when it comes to the points right now.
I mean, if anything, if I were, put myself in the shoes of a Gears Cup Series contender. Now, I know my strengths. I know where I'm great. I know where I am at. Here at one of these tracks, this is the one I would be circling on my schedule just because I know I have a legit puncher's chance. If I can make it, be in the points race at that point in the season to contend, I know here I can put on a masterclass. I know that's one of my greatest strengths. If you're not great at super speedways, which I don't know how you're not, considering the strategy involved, if you're good at other tracks, you're able to piece this one together pretty easily. But it's one of those races where even the driver who is not great at short tracks, not great at road courses, not great at intermediates, this is a chance. This is an opportunity. If you've been hanging around the top 10, top 15 all season long, this is a chance to vault you right into the picture.
Definitely. And even though, we sit here and say all the things that we say about, super speedway style racing, at the end of the day, a win is a win. So that will boost up anybody's confidence to get a win tonight at Talladega.
Absolutely. Big shout out to J. Cole's wife. I guess it's her birthday. I don't know her personally. I know that I've talked shit about Josh to her. Happy birthday here tonight. I'm going to pin that here. Again, you can say Josh's wife. Say happy birthday there in the chat if you're listening right now. Jake Hall, your current leader, Joseph Enright, Connor Rowe, Trey Holmes, all battling for position. Let's ride on board with the 95 Reese's Jake Cook. Now, I got to ask you, Tyrone, because there's a lot of difference in this. Do you say Reese's or Reese's?
To be honest with you, it's pretty much whatever comes to my head. Sometimes I catch myself saying Reese's, and sometimes I catch myself saying Reese's. It's pretty much whatever comes to my head. So no right or wrong way. Reese's, okay.
I don't know if it's the Midwestern. I don't know if it's the Wisconsinite in me. I don't know what it is. All I know is when I think of Reese's, it's Reese's, not Reese's. And I know a lot of people go Reese's, and they give me shit for it. I want to talk to this company and see what the real fucking name is. We got to put it to rest. Got to put it to rest.
Facts, definitely facts about that.
Neurospike Industries I say, get in my mouth.
Ooh.
Wow. That's what she said.
Ooh la la.
fucked up. I'm suddenly thinking about filing sexual harassment charges.
10-4 on that.
10-4 on that. Jacob Paul out in front. Trey Holmes right behind that 54. Hopefully he finds the right area to push the car. Well, it's going to be tragic for that 98.
As these leaders are starting to come up on some lap traffic, hopefully they'll be able to get out the way. But right now, yeah, we got seems like the intensity is starting to pick up a little bit.
Why? That's the question I have. Laps. Like Socrates says, why?
Please be 18.
Why is this happening?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, you know, even though you sit there and tell yourself you want to sit and ride around or whatnot, at the end of the day, these are competitors. They want to race. You know, you just want to go. You got the opportunity. You see the opportunity. I want to lead laps. I want to be in the top 5. I want to be in the top 10. I don't want to sit back here in 22nd or 23rd. I want to lead some laps and show that, hey, I can be up here with the best of the best. You know, even if you're a guy that's in the points that's, you know, somewhere, you know, looking inside out, you know, hey, I can sit here and hang with y'all. Even though we're at the Superspeedway, I'm right here, right along with y'all fighting.
That is the dream. Riding along now with the 22 of Christian Rodrigo, that 5-hour energy, which makes you a 3-minute man in the bedroom. Running along currently in 15th. One of our biggest movers of the night, but the biggest mover is our leader, Trey Holmes, in the 54. Filing with its insurance company on one caution, leading, going up to the next one. Trey Holmes is now your leader. Jay Cook right behind him in second. Jake Hall, Gary Owen, and Connor Rowe rounding out your top 5. Look at that, folks. Side-by-side racing. Trey Holmes, Jay Cook, 1 and 2. Trying to get gone, but again, as we've talked about, you can't do that. You really can't do that here. Unless it's a long green flag run and everybody's got a little bit of a different strategy, really no chance getting away from something.
Yeah, and the only way that I see this pack, slightly, coming to the point where they might break up a little bit, unless we have green flag pit stops. But as long as we're, riding right here and we have these cautions every, 15 to 20 laps or so, we're going to have this pack together all the way to the finish.
Yeah, I totally agree. Again, rounding out lap 50. Again, we are over halfway home. Again, almost, if you want to talk about 1.5 races away from the playoffs. I can't believe I'm saying that in 2025. Next season, we've got a lot of stuff cooking up. We've already begun working on that, baking in the back. Child labor laws don't apply here. We're like Nike. All right.
You got to just do it.
You just do it, yeah. Thank you, Michael Jordan. Oh, Wisnowski in the wall out on the top there. I think Rodrigo is in the wrong number as well. He's in the 33 when he should be in the 22. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing things. Aiden Donahue, a Lone Ranger, going a lap down, and that is a bummer for the 82 and his team. I know they're probably just devastated right now with this result.
Definitely, but if he can stay, because a couple other cars went down the laps too as well. If he can just stay with this main pack and stay as the first car 1 lap down, he will get that lucky dog. So, the fight is not done with. We still got a long ways to go, even though we're past halfway.
Yeah, next week I'll put in a little disclaimer. It is going to be intense. If you see tonight how it's going to go, the Jean Shorts 200 at Homestead, Miami is going to be twice as intense. Homestead, Miami is the regular season finale. Catch it here, same bat time, same bat channel, right here on twitch.tv/Horseboat for all your Gears Cup Series action. Again, live, starting about 7:45 Eastern, 6:45 if you're in the Midwest.
Definitely, and Homestead is definitely a tough track to deal with, saying.
Right.
Aggressive banking, saying, it plays a favor. The high side is more dominant and stuff like that, but it's the wore out surface, especially with these cars right here. It's definitely, a handful you know what I'm saying, to a driver when it comes to Homestead.
Now, Homestead, I don't race it much, so forgive me. The high side is basically where you want to be. Like the low line is not the meta, as it were, if we're talking in Gen Z terms.
Yeah, you know, Homestead, high side is definitely where you want to be when it comes to just pure overall speed and performance. But at the same time, though, you run into the risk of, you know, chewing up your, you know, equipment, your tires and stuff like that. Anybody, you know, saying that runs Homestead, they already know the bottom side is definitely where you want to be at when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, a couple laps of a green flag run or whatnot. So it's going to be definitely a lot of split strategy when it comes to that track. You can run the bottom, you can run the middle, you can run the high line. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a multi-groove track. And I think it's one of the, you know, better tracks out there on the NASCAR schedule.
Definitely. So Jake Hall out in front right now in the 98. Again, last week's winner, trying to make it back-to-back. Connor Rowe right on his tail, trying to get a win himself. It'd be the first one of the year for him if he could pull it off. Behind him, Jay Cook, wanting to be a first-time winner. Gary Owen already won this season as a rookie. Not a rookie to iRacing, rookie to Gears. But definitely on his way. And Joseph Enright would be a first-time winner if he could do that today. Skylar Comstock in that position as well. So your top five, only one repeat winner in the field. Well, two, I should say, out of the five. Talking out of my ass, Tyrone.
And we see that we got the 54 car up here leading the second line. Was involved in a couple of wrecks ago, cautions, but you know, still showing that, you know, he has speed and he has pace, and surprisingly, a lot of people still working with him.
Jake Hall pulling off into pit lane. Thank you for the follow. Ash Tradash _Ash. Right now bringing us to 646. That's awesome. We are so close to 650. Tyrone, I can't believe I'm nearly 646 people put up with my bullshit each week. That is amazing. Maybe not each week,
definitely,
but they tune in. I appreciate that.
Definitely. And like I must say, you're definitely you know, a breath of fresh air when it comes to the iRacing and NASCAR community. Definitely, if you're not already following, definitely make sure you follow.
Yeah. Back at this guy, dude. He's hilarious. Fly Guy Only 773 on twitch.tv. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Again, some hot takes, and I love it. That's why I tune in. Honestly, Tyrone, I tune in for the takes. I think you have some definitely great takes. Sometimes I'm right in the middle of it, but then I'm like, oh, okay, that's what he's talking about. Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm one of those people that, you know, I say what's on my mind, but, you know, I try to be fair and I try to listen to everybody's opinion and stuff like that. But I'm definitely going to let you know how I feel about a certain situation. So not playing no favoritism here.
I love it. You come as you are, and that's what makes you so great. I'm glad you are a personality in this community for sure. Fuck yeah.
Thank you.
And Mr. Part-Timer out in front right now. Skylar Comstock in second. Christian Rock-Regal in third. And they're breaking. We've got green flag pit stops, folks. Hell yeah. Connor Rowe going to take the front seat on that. Ethan Wisnowski, Keaton Salyers, Blake Schneider. But about 13th on back, you got Enright, Holmes, Owen, Cook, Comstock, Becker, Thomas, and Warner. Christian Rock-Regal joining that party as well. And he's around backwards in pit lane. Trying to stop in pit lane backwards and just can't fucking do it. That's amazing. I'm glad we got that live. That's awesome.
And definitely this right here, you know, when it comes to green flag pit stops, you know, this will make or break your race. This can easily split up the pack or bring the pack together as he's trying to get in that 33 car back around and he's in his pit stop. Yeah, that's going to be a slow one. Definitely going to be a slow one.
This segment of Green Flag Pit Stops brought to you by meandyourmom.com for moms who need it most. Again, if you need a face to sit on at someplace, look up meandyourmom.com. Connor Rowe going in right now. Blake Schneider, Travis Stroney, Wisnowski finding the inside wall of pit lane as well. Fortson Poston, Rob Rossello, and it looks like Floyd Stewart. Jonathan Militia now assuming the lead and out in front with Jacob Malone, Mike DeWalt, and Keaton Salyers, your 2022 Gears Cup Series champion.
And with these smaller fuel cells, I'm sure enough everybody's going to be coming down, taking a 2-tire stop. That should be plenty enough time to get the fuel cell all the way full, and they're going to be back out there.
It is interesting, though, Tyrone. We are kind of in that window. Like, do you have enough? Do you not have enough? I mean, if you pitted a couple laps earlier, you're in trouble, in my opinion. You are in fucking trouble. And if you speed here, as Militia might have, you're in trouble. But it looks like he's all right. He's got about 20 seconds to the good here in the moment. It's 40 seconds, excuse me. So we're watching the leaders pit right now. And Tyrone, again, you're looking at about 30 or 35 laps. I think right here, I think you're good.
Definitely. And one thing that people got to realize too as well, with it being, kind of close, but yet, a lot of people can make it. You're still going to have some guys that have to push it, because I'm sure enough with a couple of mistakes that we have had on these green flag pit stops, they're going to have to try to catch back up to the main pack. So you're going to have a lot of guys out there that's going to waste more fuel than other. But if guys, that's in a pack of 3 or a pack of 4, they can save fuel and make sure that they're all the way good to go just in case.
As we were watching, as you were mentioning, the lead pack coming now onto the leaders. Looks like they are going to queue up just perfectly as they're coming out to the backstretch. The leaders are coming out of pit lane. Executed perfectly by Road Soda Motorsports. Your leader right now, Jonathan Militia, in that Coors Banquet Beer 69. 35 laps to go, Tyrone. They really hit it. But again, we're talking, some of these guys don't have enough fuel. I am in the corner of most of these guys. 80% of this field right now may not have enough fuel to the end.
Definitely, and I'm sure a lot of guys are still banking on at least 1 or 2 more cautions, preferably 1 more caution, so they can make sure that they have enough fuel to make it all the way to the end. And, this is never over with. Even though that the field is spread out just a little bit, anything can happen at any point of this track.
Yeah. I cannot emphasize what Tyrone mentioned there. Anything can happen. Like, I don't know if you're a golfer, Tyrone, but I am. The thing is, the slogan, it can't get any worse. You bet your fucking ass it can't get anywhere. It can get definitely a lot worse. You get knocked out of this race while you're in contention late. Emotions would be high, in my opinion, as a driver. Putting my helmet on, I would not be pleased with. If I crashed right now, I would be pissed with a capital P.
Definitely, and especially when you sit there and you tell yourself that you're running a flawless race, you stayed out of trouble, you had, a couple cautions within this race, but you've been staying out of trouble, and just for something to happen to you towards the end would definitely be a devastating, incident for one of these drivers.
Yeah, it is a tough business. A lot of racing, and if you are familiar with racing in general, these guys don't make a whole lot of money. They're not making NBA dollars or NFL dollars or Major League Baseball dollars. They are in their own bracket of their own, and it's really just to make enough to make the team operate and to have the cars run good enough and to pay the drivers out enough to pay your team. Like, it really comes down to having a talented driver, but also having the talented stuff. I know with Next Gen, they made everything quote-unquote factory. You cannot outsource, yada, yada, yada. But whatever you can do to make the car faster, you're going to try to do.
Definitely. And even with all that being said, when it comes to the cars being so much more equal than, in previous generation of, cup racing, it's still, it's a lot of people in the background that you will never see that, plays a big factor, into making, your car fast, your car being competitive every single week in and out when it comes to the highest level of stock car racing.
Definitely. With Jonathan Militia and Road Soda Motorsports leading the way, Team Toyota. Looks like 3 out of the 5 cars in the top 5 currently. 4 of the top 5 cars in the field right now, leading the way, and a few laps to the good is Jonathan Militia, Mike DeWalt, and I believe Jacob Malone.
And just to give the viewers at home a little bit more perspective, I recently, went from a Chevy, converted over to a Toyota. So I'm loving what I'm seeing right now. you know what I'm saying, with the front 5 guys being the majority Toyota cars. Loving it, loving it, loving it.
Giving you a little track map now where the cars are. Again, we've had a few cautions in the early part of a race, the second, third, if you want to call it. Very good. We've seen green flag pit stops in this group of about 10 cars taking off towards the front.
Right now with this pack being broke up, we got the main pack right now just being single file. We got a pack about several 10 cars right now. As long as nothing else happens, I'm sure they're going to try to, ride this all the way, to the end till it's time to, get down to the nitty gritty. But right now, that leader wasting a lot of fuel. So if they're close, you could definitely gonna be the one that's going to be the closest if they can make it all the way to the end.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta think about, like, they did pit a couple laps later than everybody else. They pit last pit at lap 58. Joseph Enright pitted last, looks like lap 56, along with the 4 or 5 behind him. Floyd Stewart pitted on lap 57. So we've got guys ranging from about lap 54 to lap 58 trying to make it to the end. Now, I believe more of the guys looks like Jonathan Militia towards the end. But again, as you mentioned, Tyrone, he's out in front. He's burning a lot of fuel. Unless they're sandbagging it, which they very well may be, you never know how much fuel you really have unless you switch it up here with your teammate, Mike DeWalt.
Especially with that second pack that's trying to catch the main pack, they're definitely, pushing a lot. So they're definitely wasting a lot more fuel trying to get back up to the main pack. I'm sure enough, eventually within the next lap or two, they will catch the main pack. But yeah, they're definitely hauling mail right now trying to catch the main pack.
Floyd Stewart leading that second pack now. Inside 30 laps to go here at Talladega. Race 19 of 25. Next week, the Gene Shorts 200 at Homestead, Miami. Regular season finale. Again, Floyd Stewart on Horseboat Motorsports last season, now on his own team doing his own thing. Superspeedway, I would imagine, pretty damn good here with that NOS 51 machine leading that second group. Fortson posted in tow behind him, Joe Stafford, Jake Hall, and Blake Schneider. Again, up front, you have Jonathan Militia, Mike DeWalt, Jacob Malone, Joseph Enright, Trey Holmes, Austin Thomas, Jay Cook, and Gary Owen in that group of 8. Looks like about 9-10 cars there, approaching some lap traffic. So teeing this up inside 30 laps to go. About a handful of laps or so, they came in 4 green flag pit stops. This pack of 3 that you're seeing on your screen currently, they are in good position. Lap 58 is the last thing they pitted. But the thing is, Tyrone mentioned before, the 69 has been leading this entire way, so he's burning everything that he has. While the 20 and the 45 have a little bit more to give. You see the 20 not on the 69 pushing, allowing the rest of that group to kind of catch themselves, kind of pace themselves. From what I can see, doesn't look like they're giving it their all at the moment.
Yeah, and I've been noticing when it comes to this main pack that's in the lead right now, they're not really as organized. There's a lot of gaps between the cars and stuff like that. The second pack definitely looks more tidy, more formed up and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, definitely that 69 car is definitely burning a lot of fuel. And also that 20 car too as well, because he has to push.
Right, and it looks like Joe Stafford, that 57, backing off. If you know anything about Superspeedway racing, when your temps get high following that lead car, it might overheat your car and blow your engine. So the 57 doing the smart thing there, backing off. They are slowly catching this field. It looks like maybe a 10th a lap, but it may not be enough in the grand scheme of things. They really got to go if they're going to go.
And that's definitely a heads-up move when it comes to that 57 car. A lot of people, they'll just try to bag off of the car that they're pushing, and the rest of the pack will just try to sit there and do that as their what was that, the 89 car? He's popping out of line too as well, trying to get some air on his nose. But they'll sit there and just try to let it ride instead of just pulling out of the pack and letting the guy that's in third in that main pack, go ahead and keep the momentum going and push the leader right quick. So that was definitely a good heads-up move.
Yeah, you really can't blame him. Again, Jake Hall backing out now. Blake Schneider putting the push on. Blake, I know from being on a team with him in Sprocket, that guy goes. He does not care. He will push you, and he will push you to the limits of his car and what he's willing to go. He wants to win in that Fast and All 6 Ford Mustang and pushing it to the limit. He is with Keaton Salyers right behind him in tow. Again, this is the second group you're watching up in front. Looks like Jonathan Militia, and they're passing a group of 4 cars. Looks like some of them damaged. But Jonathan Militia has not won a race all season. His last win in a points race was in Sprocket. And that was at Talladega, and guess what? Yours truly fucking helped him. But only because I felt bad because I took him out at Daytona.
And I'm definitely liking what this second pack is doing. This front pack right here, they got some, lap cars or whatnot that they're passing right here. That's definitely going to slow them down just a little bit. But if not slow them down, it's definitely going to make their line a lot longer and just bring in that second place car in that second pack a lot more closer. For the folks at home, as long as you're within 8/10 of the lead pack that's in front of you, you will start smelling a draft. So you're good.
You're good. As you notice as well with Mike DeWalt, you don't really see him putting the nose on the back bumper of that 69 until they reach a straightaway. And even so, it's not up to the bumper. It's kind of you've got about probably a wheel in between you could put in there. I would say a wheel length in between the nose and the tail of the 69. So they're definitely not pushing, allowing, looks like this lap traffic to connect, which is also now connecting the second pack, which is going to make things really interesting. 24 laps to go.
Definitely. And with them not doing that, like I said, that's going to bring the second pack a lot more closer. Pretty much everybody is lined up and all back together as one big pack. But, even though the 20 car is not really pushing the 69 car, he might be, trying to save fuel just to be sure, because you never know. We might get down to a green-white checker type of situation. Some of these guys might be short.
I think some of them are. And it's almost like Superspeedway racing is like playing Texas Hold'em. It's like playing poker, man. It's who's not only, you may not have the best hand, but who can save, who can bluff their way through this.
And that's what it's all about,
Yeah.
Like I said, anybody has the opportunity to win this, but, you got to make yourself, be devious, the word I like to use. Now, please, don't ask me how to spell that word now. Don't ask me how to spell that word.
Bro, the
but I know how to use it.
I'm a spelling bee champion. Let me put it out there. 5th grade. I'm not bullshit. 5th grade. I'm calling it out 25 years later. I digress. Maybe 30 years. I'm pushing it. At the end of the day, you got to math it out. The math has got to math. If it works, it works. If you've done the work in practice to save, to understand how much you're saving per lap and what you're doing, it's all throttle and it's all control, man. If you've got a good control, you got that good heel, maybe you didn't tear an ACL in high school, maybe shit just went right for you and you've got awesome knees and ankles. Throttle control is the business right here, and these Toyotas have it at the moment. Now, 10 laps from now, I could be totally full of it, don't know what I'm talking about. But these guys, the last time they've pit, 1 through 3 was lap 58. Lap 4 through, position 4 through about 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Lap 56, 10th, 54, lap 54, and then lap 58 again for the top 10 of Keaton Salyers.
And with everybody staying in line, even with that second pack catching back up, that's letting me know that confirming that a lot of people are close on fuel, or they just want to make sure that they make it. Nobody's pulling out the line. Everybody's staying in line, just trying to conserve, just trying to save fuel. So some of these guys are gonna be close, and some of these guys are just banking just in case if a caution comes out with a couple laps to go and we get into a green-white checker type of situation.
As Kenny Rogers says, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
I like that.
Here. Who's going to do it? We'll find out here in a moment. We're going to do one more Gears Loose and Loud here tonight. Sponsored by yours truly. Got to get myself in here one more time. You know me like Terrell Owens. I love me some me. And here you go. Loose and Loud right now. bring you back in now. 12 laps to go. Jonathan Militia still leading this way. Led most of the second third of the race, if you want to call it. Again, Tyrone Green, Flying Guy 773 in the booth tonight. Again, I'm Tom Torrey, a.k.a. the Horseboat, hanging out with you all season long. Jonathan Militia out in front. Road Soda Motorsports 1 and 2. Pole sitter, second place guy, both in the front row. Tyrone, do you think they can pull it off? Do you think they can do this?
Well, I think that some of these guys can possibly make it. Some of these guys are not going to make it, but the guys that's in the back, they had the best opportunity. They haven't did it already to save them much fuel, more than anybody else is in this pack right now. So, if anything, the guys that's in the back towards the end, they need to start, with only roughly 10 laps to go, they need to start making their way up towards the front.
Bro, look at this. So, from the last time we checked in on this group, they have seemed to say, fuck it, we're segregating, right? Push Floyd Stewart proverbially to the back with Jake Hall in this group. Blake Snyder, Keaton Salyers, Gary Owen now up near the front using this lap traffic. I would imagine probably intelligently because they're still up and contending. Hanging around trying to make this thing happen, but they have to work with lap traffic. And I know for a fact that it can be frustrating. And we got late. Green flag caution, Jonathan Militia. All those guys at lap 58 all coming in right now for a splash and gas. Trey Holmes coming in right now, lap 56. You gotta be thinking right now, are the rest of these guys full of shit? Or do they have enough to make it? We are about to find out. This is gonna get interesting, folks.
And I'm not going to even sit here and lie to you, but these guys that's been back there saving, some of them might be calling the bluff, but I think somebody's going to try to take it all away, hoping for a caution or an incident or something, so they can make sure that they can make it all the way. But, it'd be surprising, though. One of these guys might be able to make it.
My heart kind of palpitated when I saw all of them dip. I'm like, I'm for sure we're going to see somebody spin going into pit lane. But let's see if our next round looks like, yep, we've got more takers. All right, so it looks like after this, Mike DeWalt is out in front coming out of pit lane right now and would assume the lead in front of Trey Holmes. If this works out, Trey Holmes on pit lane stopped right now. Looks like going to get a splash of gas. How much gas is this guy getting? Holy shit.
Well, you know what they say, man. Them Toyotas, man, they get some fuel mileage.
Absolutely. Posting your leader at the moment. Trey Holmes going to pass him coming out of pit lane. Mike DeWalt coming into the tri-oval with Jay Cook and Gary Owen. Here we go. 8 laps to go. Mike DeWalt assuming the lead, trying to get a win. I feel like I'm watching Dale Earnhardt right now. Not to make the comparison, but the guy, he's always a great driver. I have so much respect for Mike DeWalt and what he's done, especially with this league, but not only his driving skill, coming over to iRacing, borderline elite. Now, I'm partially biased, Tyrone, I will admit, because I am friends with this man. But his progression leveling up the last month and a half. You've seen the growth from race to race. He wants this race bad enough. He got the pole. He's got the pole for the last 2 weeks in a row. 7 laps to go, crossing the line. 8 laps, excuse me.
And he definitely has an incredible story, coming from, NASCAR heat and, making the leap of faith coming to iRacing, it's definitely a tall task, we don't know his racing style or what his input was when he was racing with the controller and now finally came to the wheel. We don't know that, so for him to do that and be able to be, not only, good, but competitive, because, this is the guy that has no win issues, but, sitting right there, 6th place in points as they stand, he has a perfect opportunity right now to possibly, win this race.
Last time, Jay Tracy said, ran out of fuel. Jake Hall's comeback story back to back. Done. As you can see by him contributing to the chat, thank you, Jake, for doing that. But I could tell you, Tyrone, his last win was a race short of Milwaukee Mile. I think about 3 years ago was his last points race win in the Gears Cup Series. So it's been a long time. He's always ran near the front. He's always been consistent. Could tonight be the night? Jay Cook, Gary Owen, Jonathan Militia, Forts and Post trying to make that not happen. Maybe Jonathan Militia will help him with that, but the concern here is 1, 2, and 3. That is who is together. That is what matters. Mike DeWalt, Jay Cook, Gary Owen. Mike DeWalt hasn't won in a minute. Jay Cook has never won in the Gears Cup Series. Gary Owen, a recent winner about a month ago at Pocono. We will see what happens here, right now. Let's ride on board with Gary Owen for a split second.
And even though we have the top 3 right here, we have a lot of lap cars that, eventually these lap cars are going to play a factor. So, depending on, the relations between these drivers at previous races, did you cut me off? Did you wreck me at this track? Or, so on and so forth. It's going to determine on what car these lap cars going to go with, because somebody eventually is going to have to pull out.
I'm not even
like that, don't
you? I do. I do. We got to get you back another time. That's fun. That's great. You set me up. I didn't take it, but maybe some other time. Again, Mike DeWalt, your leader, Jay Cook, Gary Owen, Jonathan Militia, Forts and Poston. Your top 5, Keaton Salyers, Joe Stafford, Stephen Jr., Blake Schneider, Austin Thomas, your top 10. Again, from Militia, Gary Owen, you got about 2 seconds, and they're closing because they are a big group. So you have everybody from Militia, looks like back all the way to Austin Thomas. So you've got a group of about 6 cars. Well, it looks like with lap traffic, you have about 10 cars. That could potentially catch this field, but I don't think with 5 laps to go, you're going to have enough.
Yeah, but even though, they're right there, so if they, once they get, 0.8 of a second, once they get into the smell of that drought, it's going to pick up the overall pace of this second pack. And I'm sure enough, once that second pack gets there, they're going to try to blow right past them. They're not going to ride in line like they did from the first green flag pit stops that we had. So it's definitely going to get down and gritty, but first of all, they got to catch him.
Yeah, you have to catch him. Jay Cook looking for a little bit of support from Gary Owen. 4 laps to go, shooting a lane high. He might be overheating at this point. He's been riding along the back end of Mike DeWalt for quite some time. Gary Owen sitting probably in the best possible seat you can. You have lap traffic behind you, maybe willing to help you to better themselves in the position to get a better finish. But right now, all bets are off, as you don't know who has made alliances with who, as you've mentioned before. If you're following manufacturer, obviously there is 4 Chevys to 1 Toyota right now as we come across the start-finish line with 3 laps to go. Again, first, second, and third, you're looking at it right there with Mike DeWalt, Jay Cook, and Gary Owen. Joseph Enright, and I believe the 56 of Chris Norris, cousin of Chuck Norris. Just kidding. Lap down traffic, but with this group. So they can play a factor in this. How is this going to work out? Who the hell knows? Ethan Wisnowski in the wrong colored car. Passing him to go lap down again. Looks like Norris is about 8 laps down. Excuse me, 26.
And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I feel like right now, the guy that's sitting in the best position right now is Garrett Owens.
Yeah.
That third place spot, you have so many options to play out what can go on. You can push the guy that's in second pass or side by side with the guy that's in first. And then you can choose which lane you want to work. You never know. They might mess around and wreck each other from a bad block or whatever. Then you can come through and win the race. So right now, Garrett Owens is definitely, sitting in the best spot.
The catbird seat it is. Again, 2 laps to go. If we get to the white flag, we are running it back, folks. It does not matter. We are running it. And Jonathan Militia looks like he's getting sideways and around and is going to screw his teammate.
Clean this mess up here. Coming into the
Trying
box
to make a move to the end. Again, that could really screw his teammate. That is a bummer. Again, let's see what we can find out here on the Gears Cup Series Instant Replay.
But this is definitely something that everybody did not want. Got a caution. Gonna rack them and stack them once again. Yeah, it's about to be a crazy restart.
Yeah, for real. And it looks like here, back it up just for one moment. Looks like Jonathan Militia gets away kind of scot-free, and I don't know how, but it looks like he is okay. So let's back that ass up. Alex Dag with a resubscribe. Thank you so much. That's hot. Appreciate the resubscribe, brother. But let's see from above in the MeteorMob.com. We'll see at full speed. Again, trying to get up some make-up track position. This is late, folks. And it looks like he just tried to clear himself across the nose of Joe Stafford. And it looks like everybody is going to be okay. Yeah, look at that. That was perfect, Tyrone. You see that shit?
Definitely. And it looked like a situation of, cars jockeying, not for position, but just jockeying for real estate on the track. That could, easily been a little checkup right there or whatnot. And the 69 car just, bit the bullet right there in that situation.
Yeah,
it's just, it's time to go. We only got, 2 laps to go at the time of caution. Nobody's lifting at this moment right now.
I can't hate on I know he ran into he ran into Steven Jr., but he saved it. He did not hit the inside wall. He did not hit the outside wall. Steven Jr. got away with minimal damage. Damn, that's going to re-rack for a green-white checkers here for the Horseboat 250, and none other than a dramatic finish as it usually is. But his teammate out in front, no doubt going to be a conversation in the garage after that one.
Definitely. Luckily, the 69 car was, for the most part, be unscathed from any, form of damage or anything like that. So, hey, he's still in the fight of this.
Yeah, it is still a battle, as Tyrone has mentioned. There's been nothing short of a great race here tonight for the Horseboat 250. Next week, as always, we will be here at twitch.tv/Horseboat. Again, the Gene Shorts 200 at Homestead, Miami. Again, stream starting about 7:45 Eastern, 6:45 Central if you're in the Midwest, only here on twitch.tv. Again, if you're watching over on YouTube, appreciate that. Again, exclusive here tonight. First time we've ever done that. Thank you for joining that program, as I know Tyrone's looking to grow the channel over there. Appreciate his support with that. And as always, being in the booth. I know I've said it multiple times, but definitely a pleasure.
Definitely, and I appreciate you too as well, brother.
Mike DeWalt, Jay Cook, Gary Owen, Blake Schneider, Fortson Poston, Keaton Salyers, Connor Rowe, Joe Stafford, Jonathan Militia, and Travis Stroney. Your top 10. We do review these after the race, especially with cautions. Our system is, if you claim it, we give you an EOL. It's a 3 strikes you're out type of rule, but the first strike is an EOL. From what I can tell, looks like nobody claimed that caution, and if they did, pretty damn bold. So that'll definitely be reviewed. So Mike DeWalt and Jay Cook going to be row 1 on this hopeful final restart here for the Horseboat 250. Blake Snyder, Gary Owen, row 2. Keaton Salyers, Fortson Poston, row 3. Joe Stafford and Connor Rowe, row 4. And rounding out your top 10, Jonathan Militia and Travis Stroney.
And the pushes is definitely going to come strong from that second row. You got some big, heavy hitters on that second row right there. So I feel like both lanes are going to take off pretty even. But whoever can get the more momentum, the more cars in their lane is going to be the one that's going to prevail when we come back around, hopefully, to the white flag.
Jared 55555, thank you for the follow. Great thoughts there from Tyrone. It is crunch time. Tyrone mentioned bushes are going to come fast, and they're going to be heavy. If you don't like it, you may not want to be in front when the action happens. But Mike DeWalt and Jay Cook ready to take it on. Mike DeWalt, 2 weeks in a row, your pole sitter, and 2 weeks in a row in contention to win. Now, last week, maybe not as close as he was right now, but definitely in contention here tonight. Final restart, hopefully here for tonight. Green-white checkered action on the docket. Mike DeWalt leading us off in the MeetYourMom.com restart zone. Getting ready for the finale. That is the Horseboat 250 at Talladega. It's going to happen right meow. Green, right here for the Horseboat 250. It's weird saying my name a bunch. I apologize about that. Let's go, Blake. We've heard that the DeWalt car is the fastest out there, and Horseboat's got this, my fried cheese. A lot of action. We could go through another one. Another green-white, if it is meant to be. Coming down the backstretch. Mike DeWalt out there, but a lot of moves. You see a lot of shaking, a lot of bacon. Nobody's listening to Clay Aiken. Mike DeWalt leading us down into 3.
And this bottom side is definitely formed up way better than what the high side is right now. So I feel like they're going to prevail. But don't forget, you got going right there in that P2 position. At any moment, he can pull out and have somebody come with him and definitely, spoil the fun.
White flag is out. Mike DeWalt gonna take it. Mike DeWalt, Gary Owen, Fortson Poston, Connor Rowe, Jonathan Militia. Down that backstretch, Shea Cook giving all she's got. Gary Owen out to the outside. Gonna make that pass. Teammates together again. 69 and the 20. Into 3. Gary Owen hooked up with Jay Cook. Mike DeWalt to the bottom now with Fortson Poston to give him a shot. Jonathan Militia trying to make a way. Trying to give it. Gonna put Gary Owen around. Taking Mike DeWalt with him. Joe Stafford out in front. Your winner coming to the line will be Jacob Malone. Jacob Malone, your winner of the Horseboat 250.
Incredible, incredible, incredible.
He needed it to cement his name in the Gears playoff history, and he's done it. Last lap victory for Jacob Malone. Hasn't led a lap all night, but he led what was most important, and that was the last one. Jacob Malone, Joe Stafford, Joseph Enright, Blake Snyder, and Fortson Poston. Your unofficial top 5 with Jay Cook, Connor Rowe, Frank Warner, Jesse Becker, and Steven Jr. One of the most exciting Talladega races in history comes to a close here tonight. Jacob Malone's going to
that
burn
right
it
there
down.
will give Jacob Malone 2 victories of the year. He was right now fighting in that wild card position. So that right there will put another win under his belt, 2nd for the season.
He needed it, and he definitely got it. Jared said, got all my money on the 20 car. Unfortunately, did not work out. We're going to let him burn it down. We're going to take a short break. Get ready for the Gears Cup Series post-race show, sponsored by the Horseboat. All right, bringing you back in now for the Gears Cup Series post-race show. Again, sponsored by yours truly. Gonna get in what we can here tonight. Looks like everybody but the winner is in the booth, but we're gonna get in third place finisher Joseph Enright, third place finish here tonight. Joe, I know it probably wasn't what you wanted ultimately, but how are you feeling after this exhilarating race here at Talladega?
I mean, I'm feeling great. I started 24th in line on that restart and somehow made it to third.
That is pretty majestic in and of itself. Again, a solid finish. It looks like you started, what, 6th? So, again, you finished probably where you're supposed to be. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Not really. My teammates, but they all got wrecked out. So I was by myself that whole time.
Well, I mean, shit happens when you party naked, and again, you finished third, so nothing to cry about there. Again, enjoy the third place finish and see you next week at Homestead, Miami.
Thank you. See you there.
You are welcome. See you there. Bringing in Joe Stafford. Joe finishing second tonight, qualified 5th in this contest. Again, ending up second. Joe, you led some laps. You had some fun. How are you feeling after this one here tonight?
I was up and down all night, I guess you could say. I'll take a second place finish, though. Wish I could have won, but what can you do?
I mean, what can you do? You've been in the points contention all season long. A name that I don't think a lot of people would look at right away, but from what I can tell from the past 10 weeks, you are up near the front a lot, and one of those sleeper picks that I think could be a championship contender. Again, a solid lock into the playoffs here for now. Second place finish, nothing to cry about. Anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, shout out to my parents, Chester Water Authority and Money House Racing, and Shadow Realm Drift. And you guys for broadcasting this. Shout out to you guys.
Hell yeah, we do appreciate that. Joe, congratulations, brother, on a second place finish, and hopefully we'll see you next week here at Homestead.
Yes, thank you. Take care.
You are welcome. Take care, Joe Stafford. And your winner tonight of the Horseboat 250, burning it down, having a great day, or great evening, I should say. Jacob Malone getting your second Gears Cup Series win. How are you feeling?
You know, I'm feeling pretty good. That was a very surprising end to that race. Did not expect to be in contention with like 5 to go because of I got saved by the yellow. I'll be quite honest.
I mean, that front 3, when we saw you all pit late, it was kind of a shock. I don't know, Tyrone, if you want to add on to that, but it was quite exhilarating to see all you guys all of a sudden duck down the pit lane, get that pit stop, get back out, and contend with those leaders. What was your thought going in that final pit stop, or that final, actually, green-white checkers? Did you think you had a chance, or were you just content where you are and finishing that way?
I was, I definitely wanted to win or at least get a top 5, but I was more focused on working with my Toyota teammates. We all worked together the whole race, and I kind of just got lucky with them wrecking. I feel bad for Jonathan Militia, man. The goal was to kind of get him a win tonight, but I came home with it, so we still got a Toyota W. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, congratulations again. Second Gears Cup Series win of the season. Pretty much locking you in for that one wild card spot. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Let's give a shout out to the Toyota team. We did a very good job today. Colby, Jonathan Militia, and Mike Dole, I feel like we all raced very well together, saved fuel, we're very smart the whole run. Yes, I made Colby got wrecked out early, but he was good on the board as a crew chief, just telling us stuff. I might have made a few mistakes here and there, but hey, we came home with the win at least.
The win is what is important. Again, getting yourself in the Gears Cup Series playoffs, that is what's ultimately more important to you. Congratulations on your second win of the season. We'll see you here next week at Homestead, Miami.
Have a good one, man.
Thank you, Jacob Malone. Tyrone, any final thoughts here tonight?
Yeah, definitely was an incredible race. This race pretty much had it all. We had 3 wide racing. We had cautions. We had green flag pit stops. We had, fuel saving. And then at the end, we had green, white checkers coming down to the line. Top 3 guys wrecking, coming, through the trioval. hell of a race, hell of a finish, incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you could ask for much more entertainment than that. Again, Tyrone Reed, a.k.a. Fly Guy Only 773. Look him up on Twitch. Give him a follow. Special guest in the booth, and I hope we can get you back here very, very soon, Tyrone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And again, tonight, that was the Horseboat 250. Teeing it up next week. Again, the Gears Cup Series regular season finale, the Gene Shorts 200 at Homestead, Miami. Same bat time, same bat channel, August 4th, right here. Again, qualifying at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern if you're on the East Coast. Again, for Tyrone Reed, I am Tom Torrey, wishing you a wonderful work week, and we'll see you here back next week right here on Twitch.tv.